and welcome, all friends and devotees of yoga, meditation, and Buddhist studies. Today is Wednesday, midweek today, Wednesday the 4th of November 2015. And I'm just going to continue reading the Dhammapada Sutras of the Buddha to keep enhancing your wisdom. For all those who are watching my videos for the first time, I'd like to inform you, I have websites attached to this video. So try to endeavor to, visit my websites attached to this video. Click on them, and then you should be able to follow us from there. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. My email address, c.aburime@hotmail.com, or Color College, color spelled British, C-O-L-O-U-R, colorcollege@hotmail.com. Dhammapada, there are 423 verses of the Dhammapada, and beginning from first chapter and first verse. Mind comes before its elements. They are created by the mind and controlled by the mind. When the mind is corrupted, speaking or acting only brings difficulties and thorny problems, like a wheel rapidly following the hoofs of the animal bound to it. Dhammapada verse 2. Mind comes before its elements. They are created by the mind and controlled by the mind. When the mind is tranquil, speaking or acting only brings joy, great joy and delight, like a shadow that cannot be removed. Verse 3, Dhammapada Sutras. I have been abused, I have been injured, I have been attacked, I have been swindled. Fury never ends in those who perceive this mode of reasoning. Verse 4, the Dhammapada Sutras. I have been abused, I have been injured, I have been attacked, I have been swindled. Fury ends in those who do not preserve this mode of reasoning. Verse 5. Events or incidents of dislike are obviously never resolved by dislike. They are resolved by liberation from dislike. This is the ageless rule, the timeless principle. The Dhammapada verse 6. People may not easily grasp that, just a minute folks. People may not easily grasp that we must have and maintain self-discipline. But anger and disputes are completely resolved in those who thoroughly grasp this point. Verse 7, Dhammapada Sutras. Just like a rotten log is easily downed by the wind, the tempter captures the idle, inactive, weak, and indecisive man, ever hankering after beauty and pleasures in all things, lacking self-control and self-restraint, and a glutton. A glutton. Verse 8. But just like a rocky mountain is never moved, never downed by the wind, the tempter cannot capture a man who contemplates the realities of suffering and hardships in all things. Full of self-control and self-restraint, modest and decent. Not a glutton, ever determined and confident. Dhammapada verse 9. The man who is robed in brilliant yellow, but is corrupted and tarnished with misdeeds and errors, lacking in self-restraint, honesty, and is morally bankrupt. Such a person is not deserving of the yellow robe at all. Dhammapada Sutras, verse 10. But the man who is liberated from misdeeds and errors, and is neither corrupted nor tarnished, but has discovered his inner serenity and tranquility in living a holy life, the good life, maintaining self-restraint, ever honest and morally sound. Such a person is quite deserving of the yellow dyed robe. Dhammapada verse 11. To view the most important things in the unimportant, and to view the most important things as unimportant, means one can never achieve the most important things, robing as one wear in the path of wrong aims and objectives. Dhammapada verse 12. But to view the most important things in the important and the unimportant things as unimportant as they are, means one does achieve the most important things, being on the path of right aims and objectives. The Dhammapada Sutra, verse 13. When the roof of a house is bad and not maintained, rainwater breaks into the house, wreaking havoc. In the same way, when there is indiscipline and negligence and the mind has not been practicing meditation, desires break into the mind, wreaking havoc as a consequence. The Dhammapada Sutra verse 14. But when the roof of a house is good and well maintained, rainwater cannot break into the house to wreak havoc. In the same way, when there is devotion and discipline and the mind has been practicing meditation well, desire cannot break into the mind to wreak havoc as a consequence. Dhammapada verse 15. Now and forever, in the present life and in the future life, he lives in distress. The evildoer lives in distress in both situations. He lives in distress and is miserable, seeing his own immoral conduct. The Dhammapada Sutra, verse 16. Now and forever, in the present life and in the future lives, he lives happy. In the present life and in the future life, he lives happy. The doer of right lives happy in both situations. He lives happy and is overjoyed, seeing his own righteous conduct. Verse 17. Now and forever, in the present life and in the future life, he is penalized. The evildoer is penalized in both situations. He is penalized by the reasoning, I have done wrong. And is even more penalized when he arrives at a sorrowful state. Verse 18. Now and forever, in the present life and in the future life, he is joyful. The doer of right is joyful in both situations. He is joyful by the reasoning, I have done right. I have done right. And is even more joyful when he arrives at a blissful state. Concluding verses 19 and 20, Dhammapada Sutra. Verse 19 first. A man who loves citing or reciting beautiful and impeccable verses, but is careless, unreasonable, and fails to act in accordance with the words, is like a cowhead eyeing and numbering cows in other people's herds, not an associate in the holy life. Concluding verse 20. A man who does not necessarily love citing or reciting beautiful verses and impeccable verses, but follows the instruction and the rules, abandoning excessive desires and clinging, dislike and false opinions, ever mindful, reflective, and without attachment, without holding too tightly to the things of this life or the next life, that is surely an associate in the holy life. Folks, that's the Dhammapada Sutra spoken by the Buddha, the first chapter. So every day I can, I'll try to read a chapter of the Dhammapada and a chapter of the Holy Bible. These are my works. These are my translations. So you go through them, you reflect on them, you meditate on them, you contemplate on them, and use them for your research. If you have any questions, feel free to get in touch with me. c.aburime at hotmail.com. Aburime spelled Aburime, or Color College. Color spelled British. COLOUR, Color College at hotmail.com. Folks, today is midweek. It's Wednesday today. Don't work too hard. Have a pleasant midweek, folks. Namo Amitofo.